Welcome to Practice Test Geeks. In this video, we will test SAT practice test. This includes critical reading, writing, and language, and quantitative reasoning. Write your answers aside, and check them with their explanations at the link provided in the video description. Enjoy your test and good luck. Critical reading. Directions. Each following sentence has either one or two blanks. Each blank indicates that a word or words have been left out. Beneath the sentence are 5 words or sets of words labeled A through E. Choose the word or set of words that, when inserted in the sentence, best fits the meaning of the sentence as a whole. Question 1. Although there have been sporadic reports of sightings, and even blurry photographs of the abominable snowman, most scientists remain skeptical. Consequently, the existence of the Yeti has been blank, the realm of legend. A. Compounded with. B. Relegated to. C. Interested in. D. Ignored by. E. Disrupted by. Question 2. Some health professionals believe that the excessive use of disinfectants is blank to a person's health because these products blank the microbes that may help fight infection. A. Useful. Diffuse. B. Peripheral. Reject. C. Detrimental. Destroy. D. Acceptable. Justify. E. Vital. Deactivate. Question 3. School officials were surprised by the blank of plagiarism in the school. A survey indicated that 70% of students had included undocumented material in their research papers. A. Brevity. B. Scrupulousness. C. Pervasiveness. D. Reliability. E. Inflexibility. Question 4. The first-time author was surprised by the pejorative reviews of the critics who found her novel blank and insipid. A. Concise. B. Trite. C. Inspiring. D. Profound. E. Articulate. Question 5. We would have thought the commentator's remarks regarding the blank in the recent campaign hyperbolic had we not seen proof of political trickery. A. Chicanery. B. Effrontery. C. Subtlety. D. Solidarity. E. Meticulousness. Essay. Questions 6 to 10 are based on the following passage, the first draft of an essay about the Cold War. Read the passage and the questions that follow. For each question, choose the answer that will most improve the passage. Some questions ask you to choose the best revision of a particular sentence or pair of sentences. Other questions ask you to consider how to best improve the overall organization of the passage. In each case, the correct answer is the one that most closely conforms to the conventions of formal writing. The Cold War is one of the most interesting and troubling times in American history. Several important historical events led to the Cold War. First, in 1939, Albert Einstein wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In that letter, Einstein told Roosevelt that it was possible to create an atomic weapon, and he asked for funds to aid research and experimentation. Roosevelt agreed, and the government created the Manhattan Project, a massive effort to develop nuclear weapons. Next, the date that will live in infamy, August 6, 1945. The United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. An estimated 150,000 civilians were killed in the attack. President Truman claimed that dropping the bomb was necessary to force Japan to surrender and end World War II. Others argue that we used the bomb to show the Soviet Union that we were the superior world power. Though the United States and the USSR were officially allies, tensions between the two countries were high. A deep ideological battle between communism and capitalism was already in place. In 1947, the Truman Doctrine was established, redefining American foreign policy with the policy of containment, which framed our foreign policy as a battle between good and evil. This dramatically increased the growing tension between the two countries. Question 6. What is the most fitting title for the essay? A. Einstein's role in the Truman Doctrine. B. Hiroshima battle between good and evil. C. The Cold War in historical context. D. The Manhattan Project and the Cold War. E. 1945. The beginning of the Cold War. Question 7. Which of the following is the most effective combination of sentences 1 and 2? A. Several important historical events led to the Cold War, which was one of the most interesting and troubling times in American history. B. The Cold War was led to by several important historical events, one of the most interesting and troubling times in American history. C. Several important historical events were the most interesting and troubling times in American history, and led to the Cold War. D. The Cold War, which was one of the most interesting and troubling times in American history, was led to by several important historical events. E. One of the most interesting and troubling times in American history was the period of time which we call the Cold War. Several important historical events led to the Cold War. Question 8. The best paragraphing revision to this essay would be which of the following? A. Combine paragraphs 1 and 2. B. Start the third paragraph with sentence 6. C. Start the third paragraph with sentence 5. D. Start the third paragraph with sentence 9. E. No change to existing paragraph structure is necessary. Question 9. The revision to sentence 13 that would most improve the essay is: A. In 1947, American foreign policy was redefined by the Truman Doctrine, which presented our foreign policy as a policy of containment, which framed our foreign policy as a battle between good and evil. B. In 1947, American foreign policy was redefined by the Truman Doctrine, making our foreign policy a policy of containment, and framing our foreign policy as a battle between good and evil. C. American foreign policy was redefined by the Truman Doctrine in 1947, turning it into a policy of containment, which framed our foreign policy as a battle between good and evil. D. The Truman Doctrine was established in 1947 as a battle between good and evil that redefined American foreign policy and presented our foreign policy as a policy of containment. E. The Truman Doctrine redefined American foreign policy in 1947 as one of containment, framing the policy as a battle between good and evil. Question 10. In the context of the passage, which of the following is the most effective revision of sentence 10? A. Place a comma after superior. B. Change the present tense verb argued to the past tense argued. C. Remove the word that both times it appears. D. Insert the phrase some might say wrongly after the word argue. E. Leave the sentence as is. Writing and language. Directions. Read each of the following questions carefully. Then select the best answer from the choices provided. The following sentences test your ability to recognize correctness and effectiveness of expression. In each sentence, part of the sentence or the entire sentence is underlined. Underneath each sentence you will find 5 ways of phrasing the underlined material. Choice A is the same as the original sentence in the question, the other 4 choices are different. If you think the original sentence is correct as written, select choice A. If not, Carefully consider choices B, C, D, and E, and select the one you think is the best. In making your selection, follow the requirements of standard written English. Carefully consider the grammar, diction, word choice, sentence construction, and punctuation of each sentence. When you make your choice, select the most effective sentence, the one that is clear and precise, without any awkwardness or ambiguity. Question 11. Statistics indicate that avalanches can be equally as dangerous to expert skiers as to novices. A. Equally as dangerous to expert skiers as. B. Equal in danger to expert skiers as. C. Equally dangerous to expert skiers as. D. As dangerous to expert skiers as. E. As equally dangerous to expert skiers as. Question 12. When one buys products online, you should be sure you know the return policy of the company. A. When one buys products online. B. When you buy products online. C. When one is buying products online. D. If one buys products online. E. If one wants to buy products online. Question 13. Usually busy transporting needed supplies, as the demand for fuel has declined. The huge supertankers filled with oil are currently floating offshore. A. As the demand for fuel has declined, the huge supertankers filled with oil are currently floating offshore. B. And floating offshore, the huge supertankers are filled with oil as the demand for fuel has declined. C. Huge supertankers filled with oil are currently floating offshore as the demand for fuel has declined. D. Huge supertankers, as the demand for fuel has declined, filled with oil are currently floating offshore. E. The decline in the demand for fuel has left huge supertankers filled with oil currently floating offshore. Question 14. In 1992, the Korean group Taiji and Boys became a wildly popular sensation, playing innovative dance music that had a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. A. Playing innovative dance music that had a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. B. And playing innovative dance music that had a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. C. They played innovative dance music that had a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. D. Playing innovative dance music and while they were having a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. E. They played innovative dance music and had a tremendous impact on Korean youth culture. Question 15. Green technology companies are to help create innovative ways in which industry can meet the needs of society without damaging or depleting natural resources. A. Are to help create innovative ways in which industry can meet the needs of society. B. Are helping creating innovative ways in which industry can meet the needs of society. C. Being created innovative ways in which industry can meet the needs of society. D. Have been formed to help create innovative ways in which industry can meet the needs of society. E. Are forming in order to help create innovative ways for which industry can meet the needs of society. Writing and language. Directions. Read each of the following questions carefully. Then select the best answer from the choices provided. The following sentences test your ability to recognize correctness and effectiveness of expression. In each sentence, part of the sentence or the entire sentence is underlined. Underneath each sentence you will find 5 ways of phrasing the underlined material. Choice A is the same as the original sentence in the question, the other 4 choices are different. If you think the original sentence is correct as written, select choice A. If not, carefully consider choices B, C, D, and E, and select the one you think is the best. In making your selection, follow the requirements of standard written English. Carefully consider the grammar, diction, word choice, sentence construction, and punctuation of each sentence. When you make your choice, select the most effective sentence, the one that is clear and precise, without any awkwardness or ambiguity. The Brooklyn Museum features an item that might, for the first time ever, be the sole star of the show. Since its inception nearly 100 years ago, this accessory has been part of the limelight but has always been attached to the human body. Whether in flight, in pivot, or in mid-stride. I'm talking about the lowly sneaker, which finally has the limelight all to itself in the exhibit The Rise of Sneaker Culture. I should be honest, upon walking into the exhibit I did not expect much. After all, how edifying can one Air Jordan sneaker encased in a wall possibly be? But the exhibit offers much more than an endless procession of athletic shoes. The very first shoe I saw, an original Chuck Taylor All-Star from 1927, hardly allayed my fears that the exhibit would underwhelm me. It was only when I read the placard beneath the sneaker that I learned about Chuck Taylor the man. After all, the shoe, which is still produced today, with very little variation in look and design from the original, is so common that you don't have to walk very far before seeing someone sporting a pair. A professional basketball player, the design and the feel of his eponymous shoe had been influenced by him. He was passionate about the game of basketball and held basketball clinics throughout the country, where he taught the fundamentals of sport, stressed the importance of calisthenics, and promoted a shoe he believed would enhance both. To create such a sneaker, he used the clinics as a laboratory of sorts, testing out his latest design and making modifications where necessary. What I beheld was the product of the man's passion and dedication. The main focus of exhibition, consequently, was the culture that emerged around the sneaker. Nowhere was this more exemplified than in the 1980s, when sneakers were not necessarily as much about enhancing athleticism as about providing inspiration. And no shoe embodied this ethos more than the Air Jordan. With 11 years worth of different models in front of me, I could see an interesting progression, or regression, depending on your sensibilities, of the shoe. The Air Jordan 1 is a minimalist masterpiece, conjuring up the early 1980s, think red and white, with a black signature swoosh. The Air Jordan 11, by contrast, look like they'd be more fitting for somebody planning to walk on the moon. This development points to an emphasis young teens have concerning sticking out from the rest of the sneaker crowd. This trend is reflected in the cost increase of each subsequent iteration of the shoe. All this I learned by simply walking through the exhibition. Question 16. A. No change. B. The exhibit, The Rise of Sneaker Culture. C. The exhibit, The Rise of Sneaker Culture. D. The exhibit, The Rise of Sneaker Culture. Question 17. A. No change. B. Secession. C. Production. D. Regression. Question 18. A. No change. B. From 1927 hardly. C. From 1927 hardly. D. From 1927, hardly. Question 19. Which of the following is the most appropriate version of the underlined sentence? A. No change. B. A professional basketball player, Chuck Taylor influenced the design and the feel of his eponymous shoe. C. Chuck Taylor, he influenced the design and feel of his eponymous shoe. D. Influencing the design and the feel of his eponymous shoe, Chuck Taylor was a professional basketball player. Question 20. A. No change. B. To test. C. He tested. D. And was testing. Question 21. To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 2 should be placed A. Where it is now. B. After sentence 3. C. After sentence 4. D. After sentence 6. Question 22. A. No change. B. As a result. C. However. D. Additionally. Question 23. The writer wants to connect this phrase to the ideas expressed in the rest of the paragraph. Which choice best accomplishes this goal? A. No change. B. Documenting change. C. Conferring status. D. Providing ankle stability. Question 24. A. No change. B. Sensibilities. C. Sensibilities. D. Sensibilities. Question 25. A. No change. B. Looks like they would be. C. Looks like it would be. D. Looking like it would be. Sentence improvement. Direction. The underlined sentences and sentence parts may contain errors in standard English, including awkward or ambiguous expression, poor word choice, diction, incorrect sentence structure, or faulty grammar, usage, and punctuation. Read each sentence carefully and identify which of the 5 alternate versions most effectively and correctly expresses the meaning of the underlined material. Indicate your choice by writing the correct answer on your answer sheet. Choice always repeats the original. Choose A if none of the other choices improves the original sentence. Question 26. Inside Margaret Jackson's home were an art studio with a pottery kiln, high-tech stainless steel appliances, and there was a swimming pool lined with Italian marble. A. There was a swimming pool lined with Italian marble. B. A swimming pool lined with Italian marble. C. Lined with Italian marble was a swimming pool. D. The swimming pool was lined with Italian marble. E. A swimming pool with Italian marble was there. Question 27. Mr. Rich was not the first math teacher to entertain and inspire his students, but he has been the first who turned math class into a party. A. Has been the first who turned. B. Had been the first who turned. C. Was the first having turned. D. Was the first to turn. E. Having been the first to turn. Question 28. Our interscholastic athletic schedules were made too recklessly, without sufficient planning behind it. A. Too recklessly, without sufficient planning behind it. B. Too reckless, without sufficient planning behind it. C. Too recklessly, without sufficient planning behind them. D. Too reckless, and there is not sufficient planning behind them. E. Too recklessly, and there is not sufficient planning behind it. Question 29. Many senior citizens are reluctant to go online. It results from not knowing much about computers and being a bit scared of it. A. Online, it results from not knowing much about computers and being a bit scared of it. B. Online resulting from not knowing much about computers and being a bit scared of it. C. Online for the reason being that they don't know much about computers and are a bit scared of them. D. Online because of knowing little about computers and being scared of it. E. Online because they know little about computers and are a bit scared of them. Question 30. The program of extracurricular activities were cut from the school budget in spite of them being regarded as one of the most important aspects of high school. A. Were cut from the school budget in spite of them being regarded. B. Was cut from the school budget in spite of them being regarded. C. Was cut from the school budget in spite of their regard as being. D. Were cut from the school budget in spite of regarding it. E. Was cut from the school budget in spite of it being regarded. Identifying sentence errors. Directions: write the letter of your choice on the answer sheet that best corresponds to the correct answer. Notes: the following questions test your knowledge of the rules of English grammar, as well as word usage, word choice, and idioms. 2. Some sentences are correct, but others contain a single error. No sentence contains more than one error. 3. Any errors that occur will be found in the underlined portion of the sentence. Choose the letter underneath the error to indicate the part of the sentence that must be changed. 4. If there is no error, pick answer choice, E. 5. There will be no change in any parts of the sentence that are not underlined. Question 31. Despite the enormous voter drive, there are still many city dwellers who are not registered to vote. No error. Question 32. Debating the energy bill was the first order of business for the Senate. To set the calendar for the upcoming session was to follow. No error. Question 33. The FDA did not conclude that the negative side effects of the drug offset the drug's positive benefits. No error. Question 34. Over the last decade, the information industry had grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry that employs tens of thousands of workers. No error. Question 35. Reading widely in her field, making herself available to students, and her sophisticated research paid off for Professor Jackson. She was awarded tenure last year. No error. Sentence completion. Direction. Each following sentence has one or two blanks, each blank indicating that something has been omitted. Beneath the sentence are 5 words or sets of words labeled A through E. Choose the word or set of words that, when inserted in the sentence, best fits the meaning of the sentence as a whole. Question 36. The town historian blank, the newspaper for covering the 20th anniversary of an alleged UFO sighting while blank, to note the 50th anniversary of President Eisenhower's visit. A. Upbraided, deigning. B. Scolded, failing. C. Lauded, hastening. D. Piqued, refusing. E. Spurned, deriding. Question 37. For all her blank talent, Sylvia Plath could not shake the blank that ultimately drove her to commit suicide. A. Extraordinary. Reservations. B. Honed, sadness. C. Considerable, delirium. D. Remarkable, melancholy. E. Estimable, disintegration. Question 38. Among the fiercest of the primates, the mandrill is notable for its blank, blue, purple, and scarlet facial markings. A. Discordant. B. Distinguishable. C. Emphatic. D. Distinctive. E. Dialectical. Question 39. Due to his reputation for blank, Todd has no credibility among his peers. A. Inscrutability. B. Disrepute. C. Prevarication. D. Incredulity. E. Scrupulousness. Question 40. Only blank drivers should attempt to blank Black Mountain Road, which includes steep grades and dangerous hairpin curves. A. Dedicated, enjoin. B. Supercilious, drive. C. Skilled, encounter. D. Dynamic, deride. E. Seasoned, negotiate. Quantitative reasoning. Directions. Select the best answer for each of the multiple choice questions. If the exact solution is not one of the 5 choices, select the answer that is the best approximation. Then write the correct answer on your answer sheet. Question 41. By how much is the greatest of 5 consecutive even integers greater than the smallest among them? A. 1. B. 2. C. 4. D. 8. E. 10. Question 42. If p and q are both positive integers such that p over 9 plus q over 10 is also an integer, then which one of the following numbers could p equal? A. 3. B. 4. C. 9. D. 11. E. 19. Question 43. Which one of the following is the solution of the system of equations given? A. X equals 3, y equals 2. B. X equals 2, y equals 3. C. X equals 1, y equals 3. D. X equals 3, y equals 1. E. X equals 7, y equals 1. Question 44. If x is divisible by both 3 and 4, then the number x must be a multiple of which one of the following? A. 8. B. 12. C. 15. D. 18. E. 21. Question 45. Which one of the following is divisible by both 2 and 3? A. 1005. B. 1296. C. 1351. D. 1406. E. 1414. Question 46. If m and n are 2 different prime numbers, then the least common multiple of the 2 numbers must equal which one of the following? A. Mn. B. N plus N. C. M minus N. D. N plus Mn. E. Mn plus N. Question 47. The number 3 divides A with a result of B and a remainder of 2. The number 3 divides B with a result of 2 and a remainder of 1. What is the value of A? A. 13. B. 17. C. 21. D. 23. E. 27. Question 48. 2AB5 is a 4-digit number divisible by 25. If the number formed from the two digits AB is a multiple of 13, then AB equals A. 10. B. 25. C. 52. D. 65. E. 75. Question 49. A, B, C, D, and E are 5 consecutive integers in increasing order of size. Which one of the following expressions is not odd? A plus B plus C. B. AB plus C. C. AB plus D. D. AC plus D. E. AC plus E. Question 50. The number 3072 is divisible by both 6 and 8. Which one of the following is the first integer larger than 3072 that is also divisible by both 6 and 8? A. 3078. B. 3084. C. 3086. D. 3090. E. 3096. Question 51. Odd integer times odd integer, equals? A. Odd integer only. B. Even integer only. C. Even or odd integer. Question 52. X minus 3 times y minus 2 equals? A. xy minus 5y plus 6. B. xy minus 2x minus 3y plus 6. C. x plus y plus 6. D. xy minus 3y plus 2x plus 6. E. None of these. Question 53. 10 to the 5th, equals? A. 1000. B. 10,000. C. 100,000. D. 1,000,000. E. None of these. Question 54. 15% of 200, equals? A. 3. B. 30. C. 300. D. 3,000. E. None of these. Question 55. If x minus y equals 10, y equals? A. X minus 10. B. 10 plus x. C. 10 minus x. D. 10. E. None of these. Question 56. What is the value of A, plus B, plus C, plus D, plus E, plus F, plus G, plus H, in the diagram above? A. 180. B. 240. C. 360. D. 540. E. None of these. Question 57. In the diagram above, y equals A. 145. B. 60. C. 90. D. A number that cannot be determined. E. None of these. Question 58. The area of the figure is A. 15. B. 20. C. 40. D. 50. E. None of these. Question 59. How many of the variables A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are positive? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. E. 5. Question 60. What is the average speed in mph of a car traveling 40 miles for 4 hours? A. 160. B. 10. C. 120. D. 30. E. None of these. The practice test ends here. Please check your answers in the link provided below. Subscribe for more practice tests, and get updated for the newly uploaded practice test videos. Thank you, and good luck.